Alright, my geometry cats. Today we are looking at section 8.5. We're going to talk about rhombi and squares. Hooray. Alright, let's get right to it. What's a rhombus? What is a rhombus? Do y'all know? A rhombus is a parallelogram with 4 equal sides. Almost like a square, but not quite yet a square. A square would be a rhombus with 4 right angles, which we'll talk about later. Now, since a rhombus is a parallelogram, it has all the same properties of a parallelogram, plus 3 more. The 3 more are, firstly, all sides are congruent. Like I said, that's the main thing that differentiates it. Alright. The next thing that's interesting is if I draw my diagonals on a rhombus, they form right angles because my diagonals are perpendicular. And lastly, the diagonals actually bisect the angles. So they cut the opposite angles in half. The diagonals also bisect the angles. They bisect the opposite angles. Good talk. Alright, let's see. Let's do it. Let's do some math. Alright, first things first. Alrighty, let's look at this one right here. JK is 12. JN is 7. Alright, if JK is 12, that means all the sides are 12 because it's a rhombus and rhombuses have 4 congruent sides. So if JK is 12, then JM is 12. And alright, these are sides. MK we don't know. ML, okay. Now if this JN is 7, then NL is 7. And this whole thing would be 14, so I know that. So I'd go over here and say JL would be 14. Now MN I do not know. Uh-oh, it's Pythagorean Theorem time! Alright. So what I mean by that is these are perpendicular, right? And we know this is 7. We know this is 12. We're looking for MN. So in order to find MN, this is a right triangle. I'm going to do 7 squared plus question mark squared, MN squared equals 12 squared. So I end up getting question mark squared, subtract over that 49 is equal to 95. Square root both sides, and I get that that missing side is 9.7. So MN, that one little doohickey right there, is 9.7. And then to find the whole thing, I do 9.7 times 2, because double it, and I get 18, 19.4. Alright. Let's take a look at number 4. Alright, on number 4, I'm dealing with angles now, not sides. Now that's a shape right there. That's a rhombus. Now with rhombuses, the diagonals bisect the angles. So if this is 38, this one's 38, and this one's 38, and this one's 38. So 3 and 4 and 5 are all going to be 38 degrees. Something else I know about them is they bisect, or the diagonals make 90-degree angles. So these are all 90s. So angle 8 is 90. And we got to find these ones now. Alright. One way to do that would be to use my triangles, right? find angle 7, I could do 180 minus 90 minus 38, which according to my calculations is 52. Now if angle 7 is 52 degrees, then they all are 52 degrees. So this is 52, this is 52, this is 52, and this is 52. Alright, that's a good start for a good old rhombi. Let's talk about special rhombi. Now if I have a rhombus and I give it 4 right angles, so okay, rhombus and rectangle, got married, had a baby. That baby was a little square. Oh, look at a little square. Now squares have 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles. They have the right angles and 4 congruent sides. So they have all the properties of parallelograms, rectangles, and rhombuses. What? Alright, let's do one example. Let's look at number 6. ABCD is a square and AD is 11. Find everything else. Alright, I will. You don't have to tell me twice. Alright, so if AD is 11, then BD is also 11, because all of these would be 11. Now in a square, what's interesting is all these are right angles, and all these are right angles. If I divide a right angle in half, I'll get all these angles, which all these little pieces are going to be 45 because they're half of 90. It's like DAB. DAB is 90. You can just look at it. It's a right angle. AEB is a right angle. CBD. So CBD is right here. That's half of a 90, so it's 45. And BAC is half of a 90, so it's 45. Now how do I find AC? This length right here. Well, this side's 11, and I have a right triangle with 2 sides that are 11. Now I could use Pythagorean Theorem, or I could use my special right triangles I've learned before. I'll use Pythagorean Theorem because I know how much I love the Pythagorean Theorem. You could also use trig. You could also use sine or cosine for this. You really could. But I'm going to do, look after that, I'm going to do 11 squared plus 11 squared equals x squared. And according to my calculations, I get 242 equals x squared. Or x is 15.6. So A is 15.6. And then BD would be equal to it, because your diagonals are congruent, just like in a rectangle. And then EC would be half of 15.6, because it's half the size. So that'd be 7.8. Alright, we'll do some more of these in class. I hope you learned something.